Hello guys, today I'll be showing you how to make the famous World Cup animation. We'll be doing it directly in Figma. Everything will be done in Figma, the assets, everything will be done in Figma. And this should not take much of our time. I think it should be done based on this tutorial. It should take let's say 30 minutes. And if you follow it judiciously, you should be able to figure it out. Now, first things first is naming your layers. It's important to name your layers, so when you're picking the layer to animate, you know exactly which element you're animating. So right here I broke mine down into the logo, the TM, which is what is at the side, the World Cup PNG, for the logo breakdown, that is the 26 logo that was made. Yeah, I broke it down into the 2 and the 6. Under this 2 we have the 2 head, the 2 middle, and then the 2 base. I broke it down because I'm using, based on the animation, we have the white, the red, and different colors beneath it. So what I did was I named it white, red, like I used the color to actually differentiate which is which. So from there you should be able to name yours accordingly, and see how it goes. So but you can see the in my panel, on my panel you should be able to see the naming convention I used. So use whatever works for you, right? So first things first is to understand the animation, understand what you're trying to do. So before you get into anything, understand that, oh, this is what I'm trying to recreate or trying to make. So I'm trying to show you what was done. What I did, you see, is moving the layers. Are moving from one point to another, right to left or left to right, whatever, but it's moving from one point to another. You can use right to left or left to right, but make sure that the elements are moving in the same direction. The offset might be different, but they should be moving in the same direction. So basically that's what is happening here. So having said that, you go into your own design file that you've named, and then you get started. That's the first step. So you lock that particular animation here. That's the position you want it to be. That's where it is coming from. So once you lock it, take it to that position, then move the keystroke to the next place, then take the element to that main position that it should be. Right, so like that. Once you play it, that's what you get. Give me a moment. That's what you should get. And so once you get the animation and then you're okay with what you have, you do it for other layers. You do the same thing for other layers, but usually what I do is once I have it in that part, a single layer, and that's what I want, that's the same stuff I want for every of the layer there, I just copy paste. I copy the I'll copy the animation. So to do that is very simple. So you do it for initial from the first, then the layers beneath it, like that, and then shift it. I'm moving from x43 to x120. So I'm showing it this way. I'm doing it one after the other so that you see how I'm doing it. But subsequently, I will just copy paste the animation. So for now, it's just moving the objects from where it's the initial state to the final state. So now you need it to have like an offset. You don't want everything coming at the same time. You won't get that effect. So you make the entrance should have offset, so they are coming like in succession, like that. That is what you want. That perfect. That's the effect you're looking for. Indeed, I need it to be faster, so yeah. There's a particular keyframe that should not be doing that. There's a particular keyframe that is, I think there's a particular layer that I'm forgetting. Yeah, that is it. That's what is causing the hole. Yeah, take it back. And then you should have, yeah, perfect. So this is what I have, right? I want to properly see what I'm doing, so now from the just adjust the easing so it will have that smooth effect. At the moment, for this tutorial, I use easing out. You can try out what you want to use, but to get that effect of something coming into view, I like to use easing out. But if it's going out, I like to use easing in. But like I said, you can have your own preference, what works for you. Oh, that is what I'm looking for. Perfect. And now since it's very good this way, but just watch when I change it to ease out and see how it will look. Just see how you see. Perfect. This is what I want. That feeling of it's coming inside like that. Comes in and slows down. That's what I want. So I just copy a particular one, then go to the other layers. That's the two middle, the other frame here. I copy it, I paste the effect on each and every one of them. Yeah, just paste you see, automatically that particular animation with the presets gets copied to that place. So what you have to do is just highlight those ones you need to paste the animation to and just paste everything there. You don't have to do it one after the other, just copy them and then paste. Yeah, copy, paste. Perfect. Then align it perfectly. They should all be aligned first. When you're done with pasting, then you start adjusting how you want it to be. Yeah. The closer they are, the offsets are, let's say from one layer to the other, the quicker they appear in succession, but the longer there's a delayed effect. So it depends on how you want it, to you have the mental picture of what you want. So this is it. You see, I want it to appear a bit after the first, as is almost done. So we don't waste much of our time. So basically what we are doing now is just copy paste. Copy paste, then align it to where you want. The goal is to make them appear to come in succession, not at once. So that is the main goal. I'm going to just speed up this part, and since we just know is to copy paste the same precept we have for the others to the other layers, the base and the top. And then once you paste them, you begin to align them, and you should know there should be offsets for every of those stuff. So if the first one of that particular layer is starting at a particular side, the layers beneath should have offsets. They should form this slanty, just once you draw a straight line, they should be slanty. So the top of the top slanty that way, the middle slanty, like that. Each and every one of the layer, I grouped the layers, so those layers should have slanty animation, so they shouldn't just come together like that. So the trick here is to have an idea what you want and just keep playing it to see how it will be, and then once you get a perfect feel you want, you let it be good. See, just keep adjusting what you want, then you copy it and paste to the other side. To animate is the World Cup. It's coming into view also. So for that particular one, what you do is the opacity, take the opacity from 0 to 100, and then the entrance animation. I want this come from base, like from down to up into view. So that's what I'm going to do here. So I'll set the keyframe. I'll set the keystroke. Once I'm done with the opacity, set keystroke for the base, adjust it to where I want it to be, then bring it into view. So what next I'm going to do is I've animated the FIFA. That one I just did basic opacity from 0 to 100. For the World Cup I did from 0 to 100 opacity, and then I moved it from a bit down to the position I want it to be. So basically like that. Then the next time I'm animating is the TM. After that, for the second part of the animation, where the background logo, that is the 26, comes into view. So based on the animation type we're doing, it scales up, and we'll stack it into, let's say, 4 or 5 depending on what you want. So you duplicate it, stack it, give it different colors, dark red, bright red, whatever you want to use, you use. And then once you have the number, then you choose the scale you are going with. If you are using scale of, let's say, from 100%, right here I'm using initial value for those elements are 100%. They have the same size with the logo, right? So what I did was they will scale up from the same point out. So they are from the same size, 100%. So if I'm doing the scale, I'm doing it with a factor of 40, right? So I'm adding 40 to the initial point. Let's say 100%. If I'm scaling it, I'll just say 100 plus 40. If you are going to use 20, stick to 20. If you're using 40, stick to 40. In this case, I'm using 40. So the very first element, which is the dark red, you get will scale up from 100 to 140. Then the next one will scale up from 100 to be 180, because we want it to be bigger than the first. So like that. So we have 140, 180, 180, 220, 220. You have 260, like that, until you're done with what you have. So once you have that, you make sure there's offset. Make sure your animation they are on the same length, like the time is the same. Make sure for the keyframe they are the same length. So you see what we've done now. So I want it to scale up, scale down. That's what I'm doing. Scale up, then it will scale down. So I moved from 100 to 140. Now I took it back to 100 at that point. Now from 100, I'll take it back to wherever I want. You get like that. Go back to 100. So from 100 to 180, 180 to the next one. So that's basically how we're going to do it. Yeah, so you choose the scale you want, 20, or if you want it to, scale from 100 to 140, 140 back to 100, then from 100 back to, it depends on what you want, but just ensure that the pattern you follow for the first one, you follow it for every one of them. You good. So now after that, you make sure the offsets is well arranged, and just arrange them. Now if you want the animation to be smooth, you make sure that there is space. Give for it to, you see that effect, for it to go up, come down. Yeah, as simple as that. Now you have to tweak it, adjust it for the entrance to be smooth. So as one is coming out, after it comes out, the next one comes, like that. So you have to keep playing it and adjust to how it suits what you want. And it's pretty easy. It's the last part of it. It's pretty easy. It doesn't require much. So at the moment, I am not very satisfied with what I have. So I just make adjustments to it and see, and keep making changes to see what I'll agree to be it. So the main issue here might be the values. Let's say where you're moving from the initial value. So what I did was, this is my initial value. See how it is, the same size with the logo. Then from the initial size, I move it to 140. That's the first one. From 140, I move it to the next one. So if you're moving from 100 to 140, 140 back to 100, then 100 back to whatever you want, make sure it's following the same scale for each and every one of the animation, so that they are proportionate to each other. So that's the trick to it. Make sure you know what you're doing. And then if you're using 40, use 40. If you're using 20, use 20.